Hi guys, so today I'm going to show you how to make this really cute solid hexagon shape. I'm using Stylecraft Baby DK. I shall leave the colours in the description box below. I'm going to be using a 5mm crochet hook. You will also need some scissors and a darning needle to sew in the ends. To start off, you want to make a slip knot, and you want to do this however or whichever way you like to do it. You want to take your hook and insert, and we're going to start off by chaining 4. So that's yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through. So that's 2, 3 and 4. And you are going to insert your hook into the first chain. So insert your hook, yarn over, pull through both loops on the hook, and that makes a circle. So we're going to be working into the very centre of this circle. So we're going to start off by chaining 3, so 1, 2 and 3, and this is going to class as our first treble stitch. So this is a UK term. In the US this would be a double crochet. So that's our first treble crochet. You're then going to yarn over, insert your hook into the very centre circle, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2 and yarn over, pull through 2. That makes our second treble. What we're then going to do is make one of the corners of the hexagon. So you want to chain 2, and then we're going to do another cluster of 2 trebles into that very same centre circle. So yarn over, insert, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2 and yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, insert, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2 and yarn over, pull through 2. We're then going to make another corner, so we chain 2 and then do another cluster of 2 trebles. So that's 1 and 2. We then want to make another corner, so chain 2 and we're going to do another cluster of 2 trebles in that very same circle. So now we have 1, 2, 3, 4 clusters all together. We'll chain 2 and we're just going to do another 2 trebles to make our 5th cluster, chain 2 and then we're just going to do our last 2 trebles in that very same space. Chain 2, and then what you're going to do is insert your hook into the 3rd chain from the bottom. So insert your hook, yarn over and pull through both loops on the hook to make a slip stitch. So now you should have 6 clusters of 2 trebles all the way round, and each cluster is separated by a chain 2. So now our stitch is started in the top of this stitch. So we're going to want to do another treble. So to start off, as we would normally do, we're going to chain 3 to make that first treble. We're now going to work into the top of this next stitch. So you want to yarn over, insert your hook into the top of that stitch, and you'll see that you have like a V. Yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2 and yarn over, pull through 2. So we're going to have 2 stitches into the top of the previous 2 stitches from the last row. We're then going to do a treble underneath this loop here. So just do a treble as normal and then a chain 2. We're then going to do another treble into this under this loop. So that's 1. We'll do a treble into the top of the next 2 stitches. So that's 1 and 2, and then a treble under this loop or into this space. So you have 4 stitches along that side. This is only half because we'll finish that off when we get to the end of the row. So you'd go under the loop, into the top of the stitch, into the top of the stitch, under the loop, chain 2, and then we've got our next side. So we go under the loop, top of the stitch, top of the next stitch, under the loop, and chain 2. Continue that all the way round, so under the loop, top of the stitch, under the loop, chain 2. All the way round until you get to this last space here. So work your way into this space, chain your 2, and I shall meet you back to show you what to do at the end. So now I'm at the end of this row. I've just done my last side, I've chained 2, and I'm on this very first section here. So because we started in the top of the stitch, we just want to do one more stitch under the loop to make the first stitch of that side, and then you're just going to insert your hook into the 3rd chain from the bottom, yarn over and pull through both loops on the hook, and then we're just going to do exactly the same thing. So this time we're actually starting with our first stitch in the 2nd stitch along. So we're going to chain 3 to make our treble, and we're going to go into the top of the next 2 stitches, so that's 1 and 2, and then we're going to go under the loop. So that side has not quite been finished yet because we're going to finish it at the end. You want to chain 2, and then we can work along the next edge. So under the loop for 1 stitch, into the top of the next 4 stitches, so that's our 2nd, 3rd, 4th and 5th, and then we go under the loop. So this row consists of 6 stitches along there. So this is 2, 4 and 6, so it grows by 2 each time. We're then going to chain 2 and then continue doing exactly the same thing. So under the loop, top of the next 4 stitches, and under the loop again. Chain 2 and continue. So you work your way all the way round to this last space here, and I shall show you what to do to finish off your hexagon. So I've just got to my last corner, I've done my last treble and chained 2. I'm then going to do my first treble under the loop. Now because when we first started we only have 1, 2, 3, 4 stitches in that row, we haven't gone into the top of this next stitch. So treble into the next stitch, and then we're going to insert our hook into the 3rd chain from the bottom of our original stitch from this row, and we're going to slip stitch. You then want to yarn over, grab your scissors and snip off, pull out your yarn and pull nice and tight, and that is your hexagon. So I'm just going to sew in this end, and I'm going to do that by taking my darning needle and literally just weaving in that end into the work, pulling it through, pulling the work nice and tight, and then snipping off the excess. And I shall show you how to attach this to the work. So I've already attached these, and I'm going to show you how you would attach this one on next. So it's really easy. I'm literally going to sew them together. So if I just turn them over, you should be able to see that I've just simply stitched these into place. Now when I'm doing this, I like to do it from the back so that you don't see any of the stitches from the front. Now it's up to you whichever colour you choose to sew them together with, but I usually choose the lightest shades to attach. So for example, this one I use the lemon. So I'm going to attach this one here, and I like to change out my colours just so it looks neat from the back as well. So I'm going to use the lemon on this section and then the blue on this section to connect this particular square. So what you want to do first of all is lay them so they are right sides facing downwards, so we're looking at the wrong side. You want to thread up some of your yarn, and as I say, I'm going to be using this lemon yarn. And what you want to do is lay them down together, and first of all you're going to hook up some corresponding stitches. Now I'm just grabbing the back 2 stitches and pulling that through, and I'm going to make a knot, and I'm going to knot that on. Now usually when I'm sewing in, I would lay this down and sew it in with it, but I'm just going to put that to one side just so you can see this a little bit better. So what I would then do is just work my way along and just grabbing those back 2 stitches and pulling it through. So you're using the corresponding stitches from both hexagons and working my way along that edge. If you wanted to just use a cream yarn for it all, that's absolutely fine. It's just your preference really. So I'm just sewing this in all the way along till I get to the corner, and you can just put an extra stitch in the corner if you want to, just to make sure that it's pulled nice and tight. I'm going to make a knot just so it's nice and secure, and then I'm just going to weave that end in to the work and then snip off the yarn. And I would do exactly the same for this edge here, but I would use the light blue just to make it a bit more of a seamless look. Now when you're first starting your squares, you might think, well, there's no triangle to fit into. You would literally, if I just move this out of the way here, you would literally just put 2 sides together and then sew, and then the rest would just all fit into place. So I really hope you've enjoyed this tutorial. If you did, make sure you give me a thumbs up. Leave me a comment down below of any future tutorials you would like to see. Make sure you subscribe to keep up to date with any of my latest videos. Thank you so much for watching, and I shall see you again next time. Bye!